So this morning, I was sitting here at the desk, as I do every morning, and just kind of perusing the news, sipping my coffee, and I keep seeing very brash comments about a particular Metallica video that was released. It was basically it was an official live performance video on their YouTube channel, and I will link to that down below, of the song One. And the controversy surrounding this video is people have lots of cell phone videos of the actual performance from the crowd, and Lars's kick drum sounded nothing like what was actually released as part of the official live audio. And what people actually heard was a very subpar to them performance, and the double kick part, the part in One. Was not there, but in the official live video, it is very much there. And people are really, really upset about this. And now that is stoked comments of, stoked the fires really of auto-tune and audio correction. And I kind of wanted to add some perspective to all of that. Now, besides just being this YouTube guy that most of you know, I am a registered musical artist for BMG Publishing. I have signed record deals with big gigantic labels and signed the big record deal and toured worldwide and dealt with production, recording, and live performance stuff in official capacities from both sides of the fence, both as someone who's just working on the project and as someone who has played in the project, okay? So my experience, I feel like, lends me to kind of speak on all of this in a slightly unique way. So before we get into the Metallica thing, let's back up and let's kind of talk about how we all got here and why I think people are very mad about a seemingly edited drum track on a officially released live recording of a Metallica song from the Download Fest 2023. In the 80s, there was drum replacement. It was manual drum replacement, when that was where you saw the inception of the use of things like drum samples on the kick and snare particularly. However, the goal was always perfection, and this also lended itself to the vocal side of stuff. And then in the late 90s, you saw Antares release auto-tune, and of course we've all heard the Cher song. But perfection in a recorded environment or an official released recording of a song or sound or anything, perfection was always the goal, to be the best that you can be. And if you had to use sample replacement, if you had to cut the tape and quantize the drums manually, then that's what you did. And ironically, maybe not ironically, And Justice for All's producer, Flemming Rasmussen, once theorized that the master tapes for And Justice for All are probably no more than a pile of confetti based on the amount of drum editing they did on that album, which was recorded and released in 1988. Now, editing a performance is maybe a little different in a lot of people's minds than filling in the blanks of a performance that wasn't partially there. And I could get behind that a little bit, but if you take that frame of mind and put it to any other thing, for example, let's do vocals. You know, Milli Vanilli in 1989 were huge, and they were a vocal duo. A lot of you younger folks probably don't remember Milli Vanilli, although they still have over 1 million monthly listeners today, right now on Spotify. They were crucified when it came out that they didn't actually sing their parts on the albums or live in concert. They were simply lip syncing, and they even had their Grammy revoked. And there was lots and lots of backlash, and one of the guys is no longer with us as a result, etc., etc. It was a big deal in 1989, 1990. But then you fast forward just a decade, and now we're using tools like autotune to fix a voice or performance. And then we have the digital revolution in the recording industry. And now we are able to sample replace, completely replace drum parts verbatim. And it's quite easy these days. And of course, Metallica cleaned up the audio for an official live release. Why wouldn't they? So live releases, live songs, live concerts used to be an experience that we would go to a place and experience that thing, and then it would be over, and we would forever have those memories and the flavor of the night in our heads. And this is why albums like Kiss's Alive 2 and Frampton Comes Alive from Peter Frampton were huge albums in the 1970s, because they were live and they really captured the essence of a really great live show. Spoiler alert, both of those albums were heavily retracked in the studio and made to sound more live than they actually were. That is per the artists and per the producers. Those are facts. It's always been a thing. Now, when you factor in the element of social media and something that's released on YouTube is going to be there literally forever, you want to put your best foot forward. And suddenly bands are treating their live releases much in the same way they are as an album release, like an official studio album release. And why wouldn't they? Because now a lot of us listen to music via YouTube and other platforms. So why wouldn't they treat it like a regular album? And this is where I have to imagine the Metallica team went, yeah, let's go ahead and fix that. And they probably didn't think too much about it, because probably a lot of the other stuff is at least corrected in some way. James's vocal is auto-tuned, guys, newsflash, but I don't see anyone saying anything about that. But why I think people are really upset about it being Metallica is, for a long time, they were the band that didn't really do that kind of stuff. They didn't have the super hyper modern sounding guitar tones. They didn't have the correction, and the imperfections that they had live were what made them the band that we love. They were human, and we could relate to that, as well as the great songs. But really, in a live setting, that's what we relate to, the human factor. And this is just puts a real glaring red flag right on that notion. But a lot of the people, the YouTuber, his name escapes me, or the Instagrammer, whose name escapes me, whose video is going super viral, does note at the very end, after pointing these things out that we're talking about with the replacement kick drum, that he did have a ton of fun. That is what a live show is about. It's about the experience. It's about the fun factor, not about the technical prowess after having been on tour for a month and playing this one particular very difficult part in the middle of a show. Who cares? So with all of that being said, I will leave you with this. Because an official recording was doctored and made better, does that make it less of a good thing? I don't think it does. I don't personally care. I very much enjoy the officially released live videos that Metallica releases a lot. And to be fair, they have an entire video crew following them around, taking the best songs out of the set that day, and then putting them up to YouTube. We never had that before, and also very few bands even do that. So, oh no, they corrected a part that Lars wasn't feeling great about that particular night. I don't care, and I don't think you should either. We don't hold the same standards to auto-tune and to vocalists, do we? No, we sure don't. Not anymore. We once did, but not anymore. Everything is corrected. Everything is about taking the human element out of the song and the music anyways, let's just say it. So, who cares? Those were my thoughts. I thought it's pretty ridiculous seeing the amount of hype in the articles surrounding the kick drum replacement for Lars's kick drum at a Metallica show. But I just thought I would add my 2 cents from my perspective. And let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button. And with that, you've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.